ऐसा करता है क्या पता चला इससे पता
Okay, hi, welcome back. Krishna Chaitanya, good evening, sir. Your good name. Okay, my name is Sita Rami Reddy. My name is Sita Rami Reddy. Okay, fine. I'm sharing screen again. Okay, just give me another second, please. Okay, so where we have stopped, so we have seen what is meant by policy, and also it has to be meet the requirements. All the 9 requirements has to meet, and also to review its policy regularly in order to continually improve, taking into consideration changes in legislation in its own code of conduct requirements and any other company requirements. So here also they are not mentioned a specific period. हम आप लोग एक साल में नहीं तो 2 साल में एक बार और 3 साल में एक बार regularly, in the sense it is up to the company either you want to do it on yearly basis or once in 2 years. అంటే ప్రతి అంటే ఆ, కాలా కాలానికి అనుగుణంగా మనము ఈ పాలసీని రివ్యూ చేస్తూ ఉండాలి. ఎప్పుడు ఏమన్నా లీగల్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్ మారినా, ఈ స్టాండర్డ్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఎప్పుడన్నా మారినా, దీంతో పాటుగా కంపెనీలో ఏమైనా చేంజెస్, ఇందాక మనం 4 ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ చెప్పుకున్నాం కదా, ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ సచ్ చేంజెస్ హ్యాపన్స్, దిస్ పాలసీస్ హ్యాస్ టు బి రివ్యూడ్ ఆర్ చేంజ్డ్. Next is to see that its policy is effectively documented, implemented, maintained, communicated, and made accessible in a comprehensible form to all the personnel, including directors, executives, management, supervisors, and staff, whether directly employed by or by contracted with or otherwise representing the company. Okay, so this policy has to be effectively documented in the sense, okay, खाली पॉलिसी ड्राफ्ट किया जो कोई सिग्नेचर किया नहीं है, उसमें डेट नहीं है फ्रॉम व्हेन द पॉलिसी हैज बीन इफेक्टिव, देन सो पॉलिसी बनाया, डॉक्यूमेंट करके फाइल में डाल दिया, किसी को जानता ही नहीं कंपनी में पॉलिसी है कि नहीं, नो बडी नोज दैट कंपनी में द पॉलिसी इज देयर इन द कंपनी. And third one, it is just displayed on the desk of the companies. It is not displayed anywhere else in the company, because everybody will not have to your website. People doesn't know, or people doesn't know to access the internet. So for them, at least we have to display the policy in the various conspicuous places like security, canteens, main entrance, offices, etc. In those cases we have to display, or those places we have to display. And also it has to be communicated. It is not about only simply displaying, okay हम तो display किया आप देख लीजिए, we have displayed, you just read it. It is not like that. It has to be explained. As I mentioned, the policy has to be communicated each and every interested party of the organization. When you say interested party, I repeat again, we have internal and external. All the employees and the company related works, or the owners, the directors, everybody who is working directly with the company, they will be internal interested party. And the legislatives, government officials, or customers, those are the external interested parties. The people who lives outside the company, suppliers, all are external interested parties. Okay, వాళ్ళకందరికీ కూడా అనుకూలంగా ఉండాలి. To make its policy publicly available in an effective form and manner to interested parties upon request. When you make the publicly available, when you say publicly available, anybody can see in it. So you have uh, shared your policy, or you have updated your policy, you have kept your policy in the website. Okay, good to hear that. Yeah, thanks Chaitanya. So we have to upload our policy in the website so that it is accessible to everybody. I mean, whenever the people want to see that, they can go through the website and they can see the policy. Okay, upon request. So most of the most of the days or most of the companies, they used to have their policy in the website. जो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कंपनी अभी तो इंटरनेट तो सब लोग जानते हैं, मोबाइल फोन इज ऑन एवरीबडीज हैंड. जो भी सबसे गाँव तो होता है, everybody is having the mobile phone, so they are used to access with the internet, so anybody can see the policy. Most of the companies also, they are uploading their policies in the websites for the easy access, because वो तो easy है, कोई भी देख सकता है. जो पेपर देना है तो it is difficult comparing with the online copy. Then we talk about a management representative. So in the management systems, one is the criteria is first is policy, second is a management representative. When we talk about management representative, the company shall appoint a senior management representative who, irrespective of other responsibilities, shall ensure that the requirements of these standards are met. So they make a, or they identify one person who ensures the requirements of these standards are met apart from his additional responsibilities. For example, HR. So apart from his day-to-day activities, he will or he should also make sure that these standards of the policy or the requirements of the standards are implemented. So जो भी है, एक बंदा को आइडेंटिफाई करेगा, उसको बोलेगा कि जो उनकी रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से अलावा ये भी देखना होता है, जो ఆల్ ది రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ हम लोग ఫిల్ఫిల్ किया कि नहीं. సో దీంతో పాటు ఏంటంటే, ఎవరన్నా ఒక వ్యక్తి మనము వాళ్ళ పనులతో పాటు ఈ పనిని కూడాను మనం యాడ్ చేస్తాము. ఇందులో ఉన్న 9 రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ అనేవి మనం ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తున్నామా లేదా అని. The next one, SA 8000 worker representatives. As I mentioned, a company shall recognize that the workplace delivery is a key component of social accountability that ensure that all the workers have the right to representation to the facility to facilitate communication with senior management in matters related to SA 8000. So here it is very clear. We are talking about SA 8000 requirements, SA 8000 concerns. So it is not relating to anything else. So whatever the SA 8000 requirements, you can have a right to communicate with the senior management. In the unionized facilities, such representatives shall be undertaken by the recognized unions. Elsewhere, the workers may elect SA 8000 worker representative from the among themselves for this purpose. In no circumstances shall SA 8000 worker representative be seen as a substitute for a trade union representative. Okay. 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So although I'm joining our last class, but I am someone who is joining to appear the exams next year. Could you please let me know when are classes for the next academic year going to start? Krishna Chaitanya, I'm not sure that, when we can do it, but the classes will be, continuously it is going actually. So we are not having any specific academic year. You can join here. We almost completed the syllabus now. This is the last paper. Once I complete this, again I'll start from the IS 101. Okay, that is the answer I can give.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Only just to have a track, sir, because few classes we have missed. That's what, sir.
Chaitanya, if I'm not wrong, you were joined in the last
Sir,
year
yes, sir.
itself, right?
No,
You're
sir.
from Bangalore, right?
No, no, sir. I'm not from Bangalore. There is another Chaitanya. Some white Chaitanya is there. I'm Krishna Chaitanya. I'm
Okay,
from
okay.
Vishakhapatnam only.
So, okay, I confused with the people. You're from Visakhapatnam itself. Okay, fine, fine.
Right, sir. Right. Thank you. Sorry to disturb the class, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks. No. It is fine. It is absolutely fine because maybe somebody else also would have same doubt.
No,
That is
the
okay.
thing is, no, sir. By the time we are about to ask the question, the class is getting disconnected. That's what.
Okay. It is fine. No worries.
Right. Right, sir.
Okay. So when I say worker representative, it is nothing but the company is or every worker has a right to communicate the issues with respect to SA 8000 to the top management. There, the unionized is there. The union will choose any one representative, one worker as a representative. If the not the case, the workers will choose among themselves one worker as a representative. Okay. Then a management review. So as we know, management review, if you're already familiar with ISO standards, there also we have a management review. If I'm not wrong, clause number 9.3, that is the management review. So it happens in once in 6 months. So in the organization, that is the standard practice. So why it is only once in 6 months? That is the best practice to have once in 6 months, all your performance. Yeah. And the top management shall periodically review the adequacy, suitability, and accounting, continuing the effectiveness of the company's policy, procedures, and performance results, vice versa, the requirement of the standard, and other requirements to which the company subscribes. So basically, what they review, so whatever the standard is asking, the requirements either the company has fulfilled or not, or any other subscribes something else the company is planned to implement, whether we have achieved it not. Okay. Whether appropriate such systems or amendments and improvements shall be made. If it is not meeting for the implemented, then we have to take the appropriate actions. The worker representative shall participate in this review. So in this review is also definitely the worker representative will participate. And the next requirement is planning and implementation. So the company shall ensure that the requirements of the standards are understood and implemented at all levels of the organization. The method shall include but not limited to. See, these are not a few things which are to be followed, but these are some things they have to be implemented. So हम लोग implement करना होता है जब हम लोग स्टैंडर्ड को सर्टिफिकेशन के लिए जाता है, उसको तो तैयारी होना चाहिए. जब तैयारी के टाइम में हम क्या करना है, क्लियर अंडरस्टैंडिंग होना चाहिए जो स्टैंडर्ड का रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, स्टैंडर्ड इज आस्किंग फॉर व्हाट, हम लोग क्या क्या डॉक्यूमेंट बनाना है, कैसे उसको सबको कम्युनिकेट करना है, क्या क्या डॉक्यूमेंट रिकॉर्ड करना चाहिए, ये सब हम लोग जानना ही है బిఫోర్ ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్. ఓకే, ఏదైనా స్టాండర్డ్ మనం ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేసే ముందు ఆ స్టాండర్డ్ యొక్క ముఖ్య ఉద్దేశం ఏంటి, సో దాని నుంచి మనల్ని ఏమేమి డాక్యుమెంట్స్ అడుగుతుంది, దానికి ఏమేమి డాక్యుమెంట్లు రెడీ చేయాలి అన్న దాని గురించి మనకి కంపల్సరీగా తెలిసి ఉండాలి. అంటే దాని యొక్క ఉద్దేశం తెలిసి ఉండాలి, పర్పస్ తెలిసి ఉండాలి, ఆ స్టాండర్డ్ యొక్క పర్పస్. A clear definition of all parties, roles and responsibilities and authorities. First of all, we should know all the parties, roles and responsibilities. When I talk about parties, here we can say people. We should know all the people who involving in this implementation, their roles and responsibilities and their authorities has clearly defined. मतलब जो भी लोगों का responsibilities है वो clearly लिखना पड़ता है. Then training of a new or reassigned and temporary personnel upon hiring. So we have to do training to the new employees or reassigned and or temporary person. When I say reassigned, maybe people rejoining or when they have any new responsibilities which are assigned to them. सबको training देना चाहिए. Then periodic instruction, training and awareness programs for existing personnel. So when I say periodic instructions, training and awareness program, जो भी है, जो लोग ऑलरेडी कंपनी में से काम कर रहा है, सालों से काम करना है, उन लोगों को इन बिटवीन हम लोग जो भी नया रूल आता है, नहीं तो नया खतरा जो कंपनी में आई मीन ये होता है, मतलब जो मटेरियल चेंज किया है, नहीं तो एक्टिविटी सीक्वेंस ऑफ एक्टिविटी चेंज किया है, उसकी वजह से जो खतरे में जो नया खतरे हैं, मतलब ऑलरेडी हम लोग हीरा में आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं, हजार्ड आइडेंटिफिकेशन रिस्क असेसमेंट में उन सारे खतरे को आइडेंटिफाई करता है, उसके लिए कंट्रोल करने के लिए हम लोग सेफ्टी प्रिकॉशंस भी आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं। इसमें भी हम लोग जो भी नया लोग हैं और पुराने लोग हैं उसको ట్రైనింగ్స్ దేనా चाहिए, मतलब అందరికి మనము కొత్త వాళ్ళకి ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ వాళ్ళకందరికీ కూడాను రీఎక్కరెన్స్ ట్రైనింగ్ అంటే మళ్ళీ ఆ పని మీద వాళ్ళకి అవగాహన కల్పించాలి. ఓకే, then continuous monitoring of activities and results to demonstrate the effectiveness of systems implemented to meet the company's policy and requirements of the standard. So continuous monitoring of activities and results to demonstrate the effectiveness of the system. What is mean by continuous monitoring? I got one more message. Okay, Amit, you are also next academic batch. It is fine. Okay. So what is the this thing? Continuous monitoring. So and also the results to see the effectiveness of the systems or effectiveness of the implementation. ठीक है, हम लोग तो बोल गए कि ओके ठीक है, हम लोग ऐसे 8000 पे जा रहा है, हम तो सिस्टम तो बना लिए, डॉक्यूमेंट्स पूरा बना दिए, बाद में क्या हुआ, उसका रिव्यू भी नहीं हो रहा है, कोई मॉनिटर करता ही नहीं है, डॉक्यूमेंट भर रहा है क्या, जो सिस्टम्स हम लोग इम्प्लीमेंट किया है, मतलब चाइल्ड लेबर रिस्ट्रिक्टेड है कंपनी में, बट हु इज मॉनिटरिंग दैट? अभी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर लोग है, उसमें कोई निकलता है 10 साल का बच्चा आके काम कर रहा है, बट हु इज मॉनिटरिंग दी रिक्वायरमेंट्स ऑफ द स्टैंडर्ड? सैलरीज है तो जो हम लोग द बेसिक सैलरीज दे रहे हैं कि नहीं, द मिनिमम वेज दे रहे हैं कि नहीं, और उसके नीचे दे रहा है तो उससे ऊपर लिविंग वेजेस दे रहा है, और कंपनी का जो रिव्यू चलना चाहिए, रिव्यू हो रहा है कि नहीं? ओके, जो कंपनी में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन पॉलिसी है, मतलब डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं करना चाहिए, डिफरेंशिएशन नहीं दिखाना चाहिए, डिफरेंस नहीं दिखाना चाहिए, मेल फीमेल में डिफरेंस नहीं दिखाना चाहिए, और एज की वजह से डिफरेंस नहीं करना चाहिए, और लैंग्वेज से लोगों को डिफरेंस करना नहीं करना चाहिए, और एरिया के वजह से लोगों को डिफरेंस नहीं दिखाना चाहिए. सो वी शुड नॉट शो एनी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बिकॉज ऑफ देयर लैंग्वेज, कलर, सेक्स और देयर रीजन. ओके, ऐसा कुछ पॉलिसीज है, बट यू आर नॉट मॉनिटरिंग इट. We have implemented everything, we have started everything, but there is no monitoring practice in place, somebody is not overlooking, then what will happen? The impact or the effectiveness of the system will go down. Okay, that is why we should have monitoring of the effectiveness of the system and also the implementation part. Okay, then the company is required to consult the SE 8000 guidance document for the irrespective guidance of this requirement. That is the a reference करना है. Then other requirement है control of suppliers, subcontractors and sub suppliers. ठीक है, a company shall maintain appropriate record of suppliers or subcontractors and where appropriate sub suppliers commitments to social accountability, including but not limited to contractual agreements or a written commitment of those organizations. So how you will control your suppliers or subcontractors or sub suppliers? So we should have maintain appropriate records of the suppliers. So we'll have purchase orders, we have agreements, and also other documents to make them committed for the this social accountability standards. Okay, then conform to all requirements of this standard and to require the same of sub suppliers. So we have to make that the people are implementing. हम जानना है कि ओके हमारा जो सप्लायर्स है उन लोग ये ऐसे 8000 का रिक्वायरमेंट ఫాలో कर रहे कि नहीं, వెదర్ దే హ్యావ్ ఇంప్లిమెంటెడ్ ఆర్ నాట్. మన సబ్ కాంట్రాక్టర్లు కానీ సప్లయర్లు కానీ ఈ ఎస్ఏ 8000 యొక్క రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ని వాళ్ళు ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేస్తున్నారు లేదా, చేస్తున్నారంటేనే మనం ఆర్డర్లు ఇస్తాం. Otherwise, we will not give any orders. If they are meeting, then we'll give orders. If they are not meeting this requirement, we say that okay, we are not, we didn't want to continue with you people because of non-compliance of SA 8000 requirement. And also accordingly, we'll send our purchase orders. We'll have the agreements. Okay. Participate in monitoring activities as requested by the company. So we have to participate in the monitoring activities. The contractor लोग है मॉनिटरिंग एक्टिविटीज में पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए. जब हम लोग बोलेंगे ठीक है टुमारो वी आर कमिंग फॉर योर ऑडिट, हो जाएगा, भाग जाएगा जो भी बंदा है उधर. रिप्रेजेंटेटिव होता है कॉन्ट्रैक्टर का, वो भाग जाएगा, इंटेंशनली भाग जाएगा क्योंकि दूसरा बंदा कोई नहीं है उसको ऑडिट करने के लिए. So they have to participate in the this audit. Identify the root cause of and promote, implement corrective and preventive actions to resolve any identified non-conformance to the requirements of the standard. So जो भी नॉन कंप्लायंस होता है, जो भी रिक्वायरमेंट को जो फुलफिल नहीं कर पाता है, there we can come up with the actions, corrective actions or preventive actions to కరెక్ట్ ఆర్ టు బిల్డ్ ది గ్యాప్. సో ఒక్కోసారి ఏమవుతుంది, అన్ని రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ని అందరూ ఫుల్ఫిల్ చేయలేరు. సో ఆ కేసులో ఏం చేస్తాము మనము, అన్సేఫ్ యాక్షన్స్ని, ఐ మీన్ ఏదంటే సేఫ్టీలో నాన్ కంప్లైంట్స్ ఉన్నాయి, దేర్ వీ హ్యావ్ సీన్ సో మెనీ హజార్డ్స్ ఆర్ సో మెనీ అన్సేఫ్ కండిషన్స్ ఆర్ అన్సేఫ్ యాక్షన్స్ ఆర్ విచ్ ఆర్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. దట్ ఈస్ ద నాన్ కంప్లైంట్స్ విత్ ది సేఫ్టీ అండ్ హెల్త్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్. So there we can suggest that okay, you have to start with a policy, you start with monitoring, or you have to do a preventive maintenance, you have to do safety inspection of your machineries, and we have to educate our people using of the PPEs, etc., etc. Okay. One second. Yeah. Then promptly and completely inform the company of any and all relevant business relationships with other suppliers or subcontractors and sub-supplier. So promptly and completely inform company and any all relevant business relationship with the other suppliers. What kind of relation will have with the company. Okay. And also the company shall establish, maintain and document in writing appropriate procedures to evaluate and select the supplier or subcontractor where appropriate sub-suppliers, taking into account their performance and commitment to meet the requirements of the standard. So it is nothing but the company has to maintain document in writing appropriate procedure to evaluate. It is nothing but customer evaluation or contractor evaluation form or supplier evaluation. We have to have a supplier evaluation procedure. What are the things or the practices which we are assessing about the performance of their performance against the requirements of the standard. మనం సప్లయర్ ఆడిట్ అంటుంటాము, లేదంటే కాంట్రాక్ట్ ఆడిట్ అంటాము, సబ్ సప్లయర్ ఆడిట్ అంటాము, లేదా సప్లయర్ క్వాలిఫికేషన్ ఆడిట్ అంటూ ఉంటాము. ఆల్ దిస్ విల్ కమ్స్ అండర్ దిస్ పాయింట్. Then 9.9, the company shall make a reasonable effort to ensure that the requirements of this standard are being met by suppliers and subcontractors within their sphere of control and influence. Okay. So whoever the suppliers or subcontractors who are within the limit of the organization has to make sure that all the requirements of the standard has implemented or met by the company. Okay, that we have to consider. Okay, one second, I got a question. So do we need management representative? Yes. Here we need a management representative. So as per ISO now, there is no management representative, but as per the SA 8000 standard, there we need a management representative. Sir, although roles and responsibilities defined, do we? Yes, here in the, when you talk about responsibilities, for example, we we are, I mean, learning this course to become a safety officer. Sometimes they may ask safety officer itself to have this, but generally we are not supposed to, we are not supposed to be take any other responsibilities. Sometimes what will happen, the HR manager, mostly HR people will take this role apart from their day-to-day activities, for example hiring, salary processing, wages, etc. Then new employees joining, exit process, etc. Apart from their regular activities, they also take this responsibility. Okay. Then 9.10, in addition to the requirements of section 9.7 about the contracting of controls of the contractor, and 9.9 where the company receives or handles or promotes goods or services from supplier or subcontractor or sub-supplier who are classified as home workers, the company shall take a special steps to ensure that such home workers are afforded a level of protection similar to that afforded to directly employed personnel under the requirements of this standard. Such special steps shall be included but not limited to. In the sense, whoever joins as a home workers. So this is not the case with the most of the companies, but sometimes some of them, as I mentioned, they will take their complete raw material and they go home and they do produce the product and they will come back and submit in the company. So in case of such home workers, they should have the special attention. What are that? Establishing legally binding or written purchasing contracts required conformance to the minimum criteria in accordance with the requirements of the standard. As I mentioned, if it is in a garment industry, the company will give to any women or females one set of cloths, or they will give an order of 100 items to be stitched within the week of 10 days. So we should have a legal binding how they should be executed. Then ensuring that the requirements of the written purchasing contracted are understood and implemented by the home workers and also all other parties involved in the purchasing contract. So whoever is involved in this agreement, they should understand the purchase contract requirements. Then maintaining on the company premises the comprehensive records detailing and identifies of home workers and quantities of goods produced, services provided, and or hours worked by the each home worker. Then maintaining the requirements. So, कितने घंटा काम करता है, what are the services they provide, what are the goods they produced. All these things has to be recorded. Then frequent announced and also unannounced monitoring activities to verify the compliance with the in terms of written purchasing contract. So we have to visit their premises or locations to verify the purchase agreement conditions or meeting the requirement or not, and addressing the concern and also taking corrective actions. There is another management system control. So here what we do, the company shall provide a confidential means of for personnel to report non-conformance with the standard to the company management and also a worker representative. The company shall investigate, address, and also respond to the concerns. Okay, so we can say that anybody can come and talk to the management saying that जो भी ऐसा requirement है वो fulfill नहीं हो रहा है. Then the management can start doing investigation on the concerned personnel or other interest parties with regard to the conformance or non-conformance with the company's policies and also requirements of the standard. जब वो जो requirement को fulfill नहीं कर पाता है, मतलब either an individual person or contractor or a supplier or sub-supplier. Okay, if they are not meeting, then definitely the management go and investigate and they will take appropriate actions or displaying. The company shall refrain from the disciplining or dismissing or otherwise discriminating against any personnel for providing information concerning observance of the standard. They can penalize or they can dismissing the contract or the people also. The company shall identify the root cause promptly, implement corrective and preventive action, and locate adequate resources appropriate to the nature and also severity of the identified non-conformance with the company policy and standard. So they have to identify the root cause for the non-conformance, and also they have to take appropriate corrective and preventive action and allocate adequate resources which are appropriate. It is not about simply okay identifying the root cause and writing the corrective and preventive action statements. स्टेटमेंट लिख के बाद सॉल्व नहीं होता है. जो भी उसके लिए जो रिसोर्सेस लगता है, जो मैन पावर हो गया, मनी हो गया, मटेरियल हो गया, टूल्स हो गया, मशीनरी हो गया, प्रोसीजर हो गया, जो भी जो रिसोर्स चाहिए उसके लिए देना पड़ता है. ओके. Then outside communication stakeholders engagement. This is another area where the management should system it will cover. The company shall establish and maintain procedures to communicate regularly to all interested parties data and other information regarding the compliance with the requirements of this document, including but not limited to. So you should have a procedure to communicate. So how you are communicating your requirements? What is the means? What is the ways of communication? The company shall demonstrate its willingness to participate in the delegate with all the interested stakeholders, including but not limited to workers, trade unions, and also suppliers, contractors, sub-suppliers, etc., buyers or non-governmental organizations, etc. Okay, they are ready to participate or get entangled. Then access for verification. So in the case of an announced and also announced audits of the company, for the purpose of certifying its compliance with requirements of the standard, the company shall ensure access to its premises and to a reasonable information required by the auditor. It is about the auditor. जो भी auditor होता है, so we should be transparent in that. We should provide all the documentation which is required. We have to cooperate with the auditors. And next is records. The company shall maintain appropriate records to demonstrate conformance to the requirements of the standards. So you have to show the documents saying that okay, we are fulfilling the all the requirements of SA 8000. You will show policy, you will show management review meetings, you will show some inspections, or you show salary records, you will show the committees which you are conducted, you show that you are maintaining all the registers. So you have to show the records. It can show the fulfillment of the requirements which is required. Okay. So with this, we done this SA 8000 topic. We have another 2 minutes. If I'm stopping here, so if you have any questions, we can discuss. Tomorrow morning, we'll start with a new topic. Tomorrow we'll have class at 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Okay. Tomorrow we have class at morning itself, not in the evening. Okay. Any
सर
questions?
इसका सॉफ्ट कॉपी शेयर कर सकते हैं क्या सर?
हाँ, मैं शेयर कर देता हूँ.
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर.
Yeah. What I do is basically what happens, I share with the institute. You will get the document from the institute itself. I'll not share directly to anybody. Okay, that is how we practice. So is it all language people are satisfied with my explanation, or anything I need to change my way of teaching? सब लोग ठीक है. I mean वो హిందీ I mean जानता है और తెలుగు लोग है, అందరికీ అర్థం అవుతుందా నేను చెప్పేది? లేదంటే నా టీచింగ్ స్టైల్ ఏమన్నా మార్చుకోవాలా?
That's so nice, sir. Teaching fluently.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू.
So any suggestions, I am very open. So आप लोग तो फ्री में तो नहीं इधर नहीं बैठे हैं, आप तो पैसा दिए है. I am also paid. I am not giving my time on free. So you have right to ask questions. If I am not answerable at that moment, I will learn and I'll able to answer in the next class, because it is a ocean safety. It is not a one, एक कागज में लिखा हुआ डेटा नहीं है और मैटर नहीं है, एक बुक में लिखा हुआ मैटर नहीं है. So it is impossible to know everything by anybody. How essay standard different from the integrated management system? So essay standard is completely talking about the social. If you talk about ISO, there is no such standard in the ISO management system. They purely talks about the salary aspect, remuneration aspect, or discrimination aspect. There is no such standard. Okay, so basically we have only standards for quality, environment, and safety. So this S8000 is dedicatedly on the people-oriented standard. They are only focusing on social aspect or people aspects. That is how it is different from integrated management system. Okay, thank you.